Starting fresh.
Gonna take my horse to the old town road. Gonna ride till I can't no more. That's all I know. I'm still studying the
Your
lyrics.
favorite song? That's all you know.
I'm gonna assume that's you supporting Pride Week.
Yes.
What's cracking, big dogs? Welcome back to the Fade the Public podcast. My name is Nick. His name's Snacks. His name's Animal. Or wait, is your name Animal and yours name Snacks now?
I don't know.
Yeah, we switched it up today.
I could heckle you.
You do look like a snack,
could
and
do a
you
little
kind of look like
heckling.
an animal based
I
on
do.
your
I
outfit.
am an animal. Look at my outfit.
As you could see, we are not indoors. We're not in the dungeon.
No.
We are. What are we gonna call this place?
The semen-infested deck.
Whoa.
Wait, the.
Whoa. Did you say semen-fested or infested?
Yeah, can we break that down into the words that you just said?
Well, I honestly,
All right, we're gonna move forward because we got a great
I
fucking
thought of
episode
like the
today.
first three nasty words that came to mind.
Holy fucking word.
Like, what do you do at night? You just like come out here at night?
No, I jerk off in my room.
All right, good.
That's fantastic.
It's a good place
Okay.
to do it.
I would hope you're not doing it on this
Come
table.
on. I know everybody else out there does it too.
We're having a little barbecue today for the 4th of July episode. If you're watching this, it's probably 4th of July
It
or the
is
5th
the
of July.
4th of July.
This is motherfucking America.
Americans love a winner. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
And this is Fade the Public, baby, where we do nothing but fade the public. Any popular opinion, we zig. When they zag, we go the other way. Today, we're going to be talking about who we're inviting to the barbecue.
Here, up here,
Yeah, but
in New Jersey.
we're relating this to fantasy football, of course.
As always.
So we have 3 categories of guys that may or may not be coming to the barbecue. We have guys that can't come to the barbecue because we hate their price at their current ADP. We have guys that you'll invite to the barbecue after everybody's drunk. So, you might end up with these guys on your fantasy team, although you don't want them there. You know what I mean? Like, everyone knows those
Like,
couple guys.
I'm not inviting Snacks, and then like 11 o'clock I'm probably drunk. Like, I'll give him a
It's
call.
like not that
Well,
bad.
see, it's funny you say that because I would literally burn your party down because of how much fun I am.
It's just an example. Don't get
I
don't,
get you. I
don't
get
get
you. I
sensitive
get you.
here.
No, I'm
Just
not
an
sensitive.
example.
It's the
I'm
guy who
afraid to
punches
say
holes in the wall. It's
I
the
still have
guy.
scars, yeah.
It's the guy who stays till 4 a.m. when your barbecue ended at 2 a.m. And you got to stay out there drinking with him, smoking cigs. Not that I'd ever do that, but Snacks, I know you're all in on that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't smoke cigarettes, but yeah, I don't
Only
leave.
crack?
I don't leave parties early. I leave them late, meaning
You're
late in the morning.
You're you're the type of guy I'm talking about.
Yes.
The last category is guys that you have a restraining order against. They cannot come to your barbecue. No matter what their draft price is, they will not end up on your fantasy football team. So this is basically a do not draft episode. Guys that we kind of don't like, guys that we really don't like, and guys that we absolutely hate. Before we kick off the episode, we need some goddamn thumbs up, people. Like, we'll have 10,000 views on an episode and like 200 thumbs up. And I find that
She's not going to cut it.
You're not American if you're not hitting thumbs up on this video.
You guys are commenting and you're saying nice words. You're probably not hitting that thumbs up. Please.
Are you a commie? Are you a commie? Is this communism state?
We live in America. It's the 4th of July. Hit the goddamn thumbs up
Yeah,
button,
especially on
please.
today. Especially today, give a thumbs up.
Today of all
Look at the
days.
flag behind me.
I tell you what, Snacks, you got some like a power stance over there in the center chair.
Feels good.
Let's
man.
not get crazy now.
It feels good.
Let's not
We might have-
exaggerate
Animal, I
too
think he's
much.
coming for the throne.
We might have to think about who sits on the Iron Throne now.
Yeah,
Listen,
me,
first of all-
motherfuckers. I'm getting the center seat next
Whoa,
time.
whoa, 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 whoa.
You know I would just dominate the show if I did. So I'll let you two fucking commies battle
I have
it
to
out.
balance it out,
I mean, if you want to fight for it.
Fuck, Scott, please don't slow-mo that.
Oh, yes. Scott, you have to slow-mo now.
Scott, you do
Now there's
that.
no
You
choice.
do that, Scott.
Oh, man, too easy.
Scott, I will trade you my second-round picks that you so covet for Daniel Jones if you keep that in.
Oh, you have to keep it in, but just don't like zoom in on my face and slow mo it.
Scott, zooming in, you get all the second
I'm
round
bathing in this beer right now. It's fucking just out of control.
happened?
I missed my mouth because I was looking at the computer. Tommy's battle it out. What do you guys say we get into the episode?
I think that's a great idea.
What do you guys say we hit the intro first?
Boom!
Boom.
All right, y'all ready?
All
right, first category is, let's talk about the fantasy footballer show that we went to on Saturday,
Oh,
Max.
yes. Let's do that.
Me and Animal,
Great time.
Can I
Really.
preface by saying
Snacks bailed out like an hour before
I
the
didn't-
show.
come on, that's gonna make me look weak. I had a family emergency. I could not make it.
This is the-
Now
this
you
is-
make us look like the asshole.
No. You're not asshole. That was all on me. We were literally talking about it the night before
I
when we
know.
were going on the train.
Do you know what the
And then,
brand?
like,
Do you
10
know what my
o'clock in the
brand is
morning the
about?
next
But
day.
we
You
want
know
to
what my
bust your
brand is
balls
about?
on this, and if you tell everyone, it makes us look like assholes.
No,
I'm not
you
busting
guys-
balls. I'm spitting facts.
I'm trying to
My
bust balls.
my fucking brand is about results, not excuses.
I know, and
we make things happen.
It's a miserable excuse, so I'm gonna let the boys talk about it.
So I
and-
think I could say after this weekend that the fantasy footballers are our fucking boys.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Andy hooked us up with a few tickets. Actually, funny story. When we got to Will Call, there was actually only 2 tickets there. So if we had a third person, we might have had problems getting into the fucking show.
So you guys are welcome.
So no, you just
Nah,
would have
we
been
would've
kicked
figured it
out.
out.
You just would have been left out on the street.
Wait. The original plan was that I got that second ticket.
That is actually true. I just threw it in the group, and I asked if you guys wanted to come. So, so he left us some tickets. We went to see them at Gramercy Theater. They were phenomenal live, really, really good. We can't fucking get through a full episode without getting distracted by shit in the background. I don't know how they're doing it the entire hour long, getting fucking yelled at by people. They were great.
Wrong.
Wrong. Yeah, there's some
Wrong.
fucking asshole drunk Eagles fan just yelling wrong at everything they said.
Well, that sounds about right. Some drunken asshole Eagles fan.
Yeah, you're right there. So they were very on brand. The Eagles fans were on brand.
Yep.
We were
Piece
on
of
brand.
shit.
We went to talk to them after the show, and Mike the Hitman was like, "What are you guys doing now?" I was like, "Whatever the fuck y'all are doing now." So they DM'd, sent me their pin, sent me the location. We met them at the hotel bar. Then we went to another bar in Midtown, Lily's. That was a really cool place.
Yeah, that was cool. The ceiling was
The
very
roof?
interesting.
It was like a Victorian like fucking castle that we were at.
Yeah, they had like nice old paintings and like big tiles.
Yeah. Short story long, we started pounding margs with them. We met like the entire team, and if any of you guys listen to the footballers, you know Brooks, like you know the producer. We were hanging out with Brooks and Jason and Andy and all of them. Margs led to White Russians. White Russians led to me biking home 5 fucking miles through New York City.
Yeah, I ran through all of New York and was a sweaty freak athlete.
It took me a half hour after we left to find a city bike. A half hour because I went up like 7 blocks.
That was a poor decision.
It was such a bad
Poor decision.
But dude, you know how far I live from Midtown? Like to take an Uber, it probably would have been like $50 and took me like an hour.
Wait, from the apartment we were at a few weeks ago, are you around there?
What apartment?
At that party we were at a few weeks ago.
No, that's in Brooklyn. That party we were at. We were in Midtown in Manhattan.
No, I know. I'm saying, do you live around there?
Yeah, like.
So
10
that's a hike.
I biked the entire way
That's what
back.
I'm saying. That's a hike.
It was
yeah.
it was over 5 miles. Yeah.
Jesus
No, it
Christ.
was under 5 miles, but it was
I'd
close
pass
to
out
it.
after half
I was
a mile.
hammered. I was in such a good mood. I was like listening. I was like smiling the entire way home, and everyone's probably like, "Look at this fucking drunk ass."
I remember the last time I smiled.
When was that? Back in
8 years
08?
ago.
Yeah, I was about to say. You've been a miserable prick since then. What do you think we talk about some fantasy now, boys? Let's
I
get
think
into the
that's
first
a great
category.
idea. We have our chef grilling up our burgers
Yeah,
right
we
now.
got some food.
Yeah.
We got some grub on the way.
He's a good man. He
On
knows-
brand
knows
because
how
the
to
big
grill.
dog's got to eat.
Knows how to
Let's
grill.
start off with people that cannot come to the barbecue. So these are guys you're not going to draft at their current ADP. You know, straight up, you just don't like them as people. You don't want them in your vicinity, in your backyard, around your family and friends. You don't want them on your damn fantasy roster. Animal, I'm going to let you kick it off.
All right, listen.
And also, we apologize up front if there's like wind and a lot of noise in the back. We're going to try our best to post-production some of this audio out the way.
Yeah, we're winging it.
We'll try,
Yeah.
but we did this for you. We wanted to be outside with the people on the 4th of July, so
Yeah.
please just don't bitch
So just
about
grow
it.
up and show some respect.
Don't bitch about it.
Just hit the thumbs up. All right, so listen, let's start it off. I'm going with Damien Williams. And the reason is, so we're going by the ADP here, and his ADP is around the 208. You know, so
Mid-second rounder.
Mid-second rounder.
It's a heavy investment.
Exactly. And for a guy that's never been a bell cow back, that's too high for me to draft him. So
You're putting a lot of faith in that pick right there. If you're
he's
taking-
also Chief, so fuck them. But he had a great run in 2018. He had those 5 games. Everybody, just remember, it was only 5 games.
small sample size.
Very, very small sample size.
We fade small sample size bias.
He had a high snap percentage and he capitalized. Listen, he took advantage of his opportunities and he made every single snap count. And he showed you that he can be successful. But I don't see it over a long term. I don't see it translating.
Why
And
not? Why not?
So here's why. Don't get mad at me when I say this, but Carlos Hyde's been taking some extra reps in training camp. He's been getting.
I'm in a
They
good
haven't
mood,
started
so I'm
training
not
camp
going to
yet.
yell right
They
now.
are
but
splitting carries.
They
in
legitimately
training
haven't
camp.
started training camp yet.
No, well the
The
word-
OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, okay.
OTAs, not training camp.
That's
Sorry.
a big difference. But
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
I get what you're saying.
They're
Go ahead.
splitting carries.
I need to know sources here.
I didn't put my sources down. I was just going off of
He's his own source.
It was actually. I could probably find it for you, but I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
I'll do
we're
that.
okay. We get it. The reports are he's splitting carries with Carlos Hyde right now.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
That's
Build
it.
off that.
Listen, and the guys that you can get in that same spot, that same ADP, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown. You can even go a little further at Marlon Mack. You could reach a little bit, and if you want to reach a whole Derrick Henry, I'll wait till the next round and get Derrick Henry.
I was going to say, would you
Derrick Henry
rather?
at the
Are you
310.
okay with Damien in the third?
No, I'm not okay with Damien at all. I don't think he's going to be a
Really?
full 16-game back. I see Darwin Thompson stealing carries and receptions at least, and I see Carlos Hyde stealing carries. Those are my concerns.
I have some definitely
And-
concerns. I think the upside is just so fucking high that it's hard to ignore it.
You also have Tyreek Hill possibly missing 4 games at least, so
Minimum,
that's
yeah.
going to put a little extra pressure on the run game.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill
He
stretches
scored
the
like
field.
10 touchdowns in 6 games, and before Kareem Hunt went out, he scored like 10 or 11 touchdowns in his 8 games. So it's
Right.
just like whoever's in that role.
It's that system. It's a perfect
Yeah.
system.
You
and
know,
it
everyone
has
knows it,
It's
but-
a flawless offensive system, and we're not saying Damien Williams. You're not saying he's a bum.
Where are you?
No, he's
where
not
are
a
you
bum.
good,
I just
Snacks?
don't
Where are you
see-
good with Damien Williams? Would you take him in the third?
Yeah, I would because I have confidence in Andy Reid's offensive system and with Patrick Mahomes and the weapons they have. I think he's good high volume. I'm not a Carlos Hyde guy. I'm not really buying into the whole split and carries thing. Although I do know, I think Noah tweeted it out. It was pretty funny that Carlos Hyde was like 6th in goal line carries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like- it's
oh,
pre-
yeah.
So that makes you wonder a little bit, but I do love the Damien Williams, the system he's in, the upside for him. But I really can't disagree with you on where his ADP is now.
He's much
I'm not touching
riskier.
him.
He's much riskier than people are making it out to
Right.
be. Like in the mid-second round, I wouldn't touch him there either. But I'm super intrigued by him in the third
In
round.
the third, yeah, and it also depends on how you draft in the first 2 rounds too.
Yeah.
So like
there
if
was
you're
that-
going wide receiver, then I'm taking that high upside running back with.
Yeah, you
with
got
Damien.
You got a little bit of a safety blanket.
There was that
Exactly,
list.
right.
I don't know if I sent it to you guys or not, but there was it was like called High Volume Isn't the Only Way. It was
I didn't get to read that,
Yeah,
but I
neither
want
did
to.
I.
It was from FF Today. It was basically about your fantasy points per touch, and Damien Williams led the entire fantasy world. Fantasy league the seasons.
Yeah.
He had 1.063 fantasy points per touch. He only had 50 attempts, and he had 24 targets.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He's never.
That's-
He's been in the league
Number
for
2 was James White.
for five years or something. He's never had more than 50 carries in a regular season,
Yeah,
right?
know.
which is always a concern to me. 'Cause
Huge
if
concern.
If you're not
And-
carrying that
and-
load for a while, you're running your 5th year.
The other thing
Number
with
3
the,
was Kareem Hunt.
the
Just
other-
for the record.
the other thing
So,
with a
team.
guy like Damien Williams
System.
is like, if you're, it's I don't think he's in a running back by committee. Like everything they've said so far is like he's a starter. He's going to get that role and run with it.
I think
but
you're going to see the carries.
He doesn't have a
decrease.
leash. He doesn't have a leash. Like so, say he gets hurt right for even a game. He sprains his ankle. Someone comes in. Carlos Hyde goes for 110 total yards and a touchdown. It's a committee.
Once Williams get back, boom.
Committee.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And that's the problem with a guy like that. And I think there are a lot of guys that are
He's
in a
just
situation
not a bell
like that.
cow, and he's going at that bell cow that price, not
Yeah.
that Bell Cup price tag.
No,
the second
at the
round,
mid-second.
but,
I didn't think most of the drafts I see are usually him in like the third round. But I mean, that's his ADP on draft and fantasy football calculator right now. So I mean, you kind of got to run with that, and that's where he'll probably be going in a lot of leagues. But yeah, there's way more risk than I think a lot of people are kind of factoring into the
I could
situation
see him
there.
being more of the pass catching back in the offense.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see.
Not necessarily third down back, just pass catching
A lot
back.
of it depends.
When preseason comes, if he's playing 90% of the
we'll-
snaps with the starters, and
That's probably a good tell.
I'm going to feel pretty good about Williams
Right.
in the third round. But
Absolutely.
I can totally understand why you would not want him at your goddamn
He
barbecue.
ain't coming to my fucking barbecue.
All right, Snacks, who's
There's
not
a lot
coming to
of
your
people I don't
barbecue?
want on my barbecue, but I
Let's go with fantasy football players.
yeah, you're right. I'm gonna stick to that. LeBron James is never be welcome, but I'm gonna go with James Conner. I've had my reservations about him even dating back to last year. So right now his ADP's RB10 overall, 15.
Yeah, he's going really fucking
That's
high.
really high. Granted, he had a monster year last year. 1,400 yards, scored 13 touchdowns, and I think those 13 touchdowns really put him in the spotlight. Like
in the minds of people,
in
yeah.
the minds of people, they're going out like he's going to be that stud. He's going to keep repeating that. But he wore down towards the end of the year. It was pretty much evident, I mean, at least in my eyes, I don't know what you guys saw, that I don't think he's sustainable over a full year.
No, because you know what it is? It's like I don't think he's that talented of a running back. When you look at the efficiency measures in terms of like creating yards, juking people, and things like that, he's very low. Yep. And like those things tend to play themselves out over the long run. You know?
And that offensive line has notoriously been like the top offensive line in the league.
It's a phenomenal offensive line. It's a great system.
If you notice, running backs year after year succeed in that system.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
absolutely. And they had AB and Juju. Like they had these guys that were on the outside.
field.
The middle of the field was open. The lanes were open. A great offensive line. But he got hurt towards the end of the year. He had a lower leg injury.
It's 2 years in a row now.
It's 2 years in a
plus,
row.
it's like you got to wonder, a guy who went through cancer, I mean, it's not necessarily an issue that you would like assume that would affect it years down the line, right? But if at the end of each year, right, the fact that it's happening at the end of the year tells you that maybe he doesn't have the stamina to get through 16 games.
Stamina's a big thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially in football, especially in this brutal 16-game season.
Yeah, man.
And
It
as
gets
a-
tough. With
as-
that defense, AFC South defenses, man.
And he's a running back. He's getting hit every play.
Yeah.
Hit every play. And as a cancer survivor, I could tell you, waking up in the morning is still hard.
Yeah? It still affects you?
Yeah.
Is that
Well-
because of the cancer, or is that just because you're a piece of
No,
shit?
it's
Yeah,
because
it's
I'm a piece of
definitely
shit.
because you're a piece of shit.
100% because I'm a piece of
100%
shit.
you're a piece of
But
shit.
no, it is a good point. Like I never saw like him coming into the NFL was a feel good story.
Yeah.
I never envisioned him being an every down back.
No.
And he's not going to be that. Like Jalen Samuels and Benny Stout, they're not bad running backs. They're going to eat into those carries.
That's the thing too. I kind of see him being the same as like a Damien Williams, where if those missed games don't happen in like weeks 14 to 17, if they happen in like weeks 7, 8, 9 or whatever, Jalen Samuels fills in like he did last year, goes for 160 total yards.
Different story.
Bet your ass that it's going to be a committee the rest of the way.
Exactly. If Connor's out there in the middle of the year, there's no
Benny.
way in hell there's an RB1 in Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
They're going by the hot hand.
Yeah,
Also-
And that's what scares me because I could easily see that.
Let's not forget that Mike Munchak is now in Denver, who was their offensive
No,
line
let's actually
coach.
forget that.
That's a huge. He's
I don't buy into
Notoriously-
offensive line coach things.
Hall of Famer, bro.
Well,
Hall
the
of
Giants
Famer.
had one of the best offensive line coaches 3 years ago, and they were the worst offensive line in football. So I'm going to we're going to refrain from that. But yeah, James Conner,
6'8" turnstiles.
I'm staying away.
Yeah.
There's a few guys ahead. Like I would take the wide receiver. I would take Juju. I would take Devontae Adams like over these guys.
I would take any elite wide receiver over James Conner
any
without
one
a
of them over
question.
Conner.
Yeah.
He's not. I'm not putting my full trust.
The
in
video
him
that
being
me and
my-
Noah did
being my
last
top
week,
pick, like
he broke up splits. We did blind resumes, right? And Noah like did. It was actually a pretty fun episode, and he broke up a blind resume where it was like player 1, player 2, and we looked at the player's first 7 games and then his second 6 games or whatever because he only played 13. And I thought it was 2 different players. The first player averaged 1.3 rushing touchdowns a game, so over a rushing touchdown a game. The second
That's a
player
beast.
only half a rushing touchdown a game, which is fine, 8 rushing touchdowns. But they were both James Conner. It was his first 7 games versus his second 7 or second 6 or whatever.
yeah, that second half he wore down.
He was just not that good of a fantasy player. And I've said this
There's a
stat
little
many
ankle
times.
injury,
Juju was
right?
tackled on the 2-yard line 5 separate times last year.
That's crazy.
You know,
That's
those
crazy.
all turn into James Conner's rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
If those don't, if Juju gets 3 of those touchdowns, James Conner, you know, those
His
numbers
ADP
come
look-
down a
it
little
might-
bit.
It might even look a lot. He might look a lot different for fantasy owners.
Exactly, man. And you know,
those
there's
touchdowns, 13, that's beast.
it just seemed like
That's what you
everything
want.
broke
Yeah, no, it's a good number.
perfectly right for James
Right,
Conner.
exactly.
And where you're drafting him is expecting all of those things to happen again.
And I would do that with caution. So James Conner, you ain't invited, motherfucker.
Hell no.
I love you though. I respect the shit
Someone
out of
else
you.
I'm
You're
not
like my blood
inviting.
brother.
Someone else I'm not inviting is Keenan Allen. Now, Keenan Allen's not a guy I hate. He's not a guy I'm targeting though. He was someone that I owned a lot of last year because I feel like I had the second or third pick in almost every draft, and then when like the 18 or 20 pick came around, Keenan was sitting there, and I thought it was a good pick at the time, and he's fine for PPR. We play mostly half PPR. But listen, he doesn't get in the end zone.
Never.
Ever,
No. Never
right?
has.
His last. I'm looking at his game totals.
It's like last year was his best. Like
last year
touchdown
was
season.
6. The year before that 6. The year before that he got hurt and he was 0. Then it was 4. Then it was 4. You have to go all the way back to his rookie year when he scored 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
Right. And now we have
That's-
Hunter Henry
that's-
coming back.
that's
Right.
crazy.
Hunter Henry coming back, who's going to be a big red zone target there, and that's like what Antonio Gates was when Keenan Allen was younger, and that's probably a lot of the reason he didn't score touchdowns. Now, thing about Keenan Allen is like you think about him getting tons of targets, catching tons of balls and stuff. But now we're in a day in the NFL where I believe it was 8 or 9 different receivers caught over 100 balls last year. Yeah. None of them were Keenan Allen. Yeah. So now Keenan Allen, his big separator, his differentiator from other players,
target monster,
was the fact that he was going to catch so many more balls. Yeah. But now, when we have Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs both catching over 100 balls, when you have 6 or 7 other players, catching over 100 balls, the fact that Keenan Allen's like yardage total or his touchdown total is never like breaking away from these other players makes him like not that advantageous. You know what I mean? So at the end of the 3rd round where he's going, or maybe he even drops into the early 4th round, I'd actually start looking at more upside running backs there. Like I would rather go with safety wide receivers in the beginning, like you said, like you and me are at the turn. I'm thinking about like a D-Hop / Julio or Juju or something, something along those lines, or even like a Kelsey. And then at the end of the 3rd, I'll start looking at running backs. I'll start looking for the Marlon Macks. Into the 4th, I'm gaining a little bit of steam on Derrick Henry. I'm not gonna lie, he's moving up my board a little bit. Yeah, like I don't hate Derrick Henry right now.
I haven't wanted to say it. But
yeah, but I'll say I almost put him into the last category that we have here, where like you might, he'd be my drunk invite. He'd be my booty call later if he falls to me.
Please, I don't want to entertain him.
So Keenan Allen is just like, he's too boring for me to want to use a top 3 pick on him. I just don't think he has any sort of upside.
I also, you know what you get. Yeah. You know exactly what you get. And
I'm not someone who buys into the whole second half theory. I don't think that's predictive that we're going to be like, okay, this year he's going to be really good at the second half. But we keep seeing that, and I traded him this year in the E-Town get down, like in week 9, and then he went for fucking 8 straight touchdowns or some shit.
Naturally.
Yeah, I got Kelsey for him, so it was fine. But
no, it was a good trade both ways. I love Keenan Allen. You know,
he's like one of your guys.
He's one of my guys. I think I tweeted out a few weeks ago, like, who's one of your guys?
Yeah,
Keenan Allen was always one of my guys.
I'm so sticky right now.
But
There's so much beer all over me.
But I've fallen so far down that chain. I still like him. He's still probably going to catch 100 balls.
He's got to be at the right price now.
The right price.
Can't.
And let's be honest. He's got an injury history too.
Well,
this guy misses games.
He was like,
I have never drafted him, and I don't think I ever will.
No one wanted him because of the injury proneness.
Yeah.
It was 15 games, 14 games, and then like he missed that end of 14, and then it was 8 games the next year, 1 game the next year, and then he's played a lot of games these last couple of years. So I wouldn't say he's like injury prone per se, but
no, he's got an injury history.
He's got a history,
though. He got a history, and
back-to-back ACLs.
A guy who's drafting.
It was
like
it was like a ACL and like a ruptured fucking spleen or it was something weird. One of them was weird.
Right?
Yeah,
that's not good.
But if you're a guy drafting running back, a lot of people, a lot of fantasy owners love to take him. I can't blame them. Keenan Allen's going to be like one of their targets to be their wide receiver 1.
Yeah,
and that should be something with caution.
Yeah,
because if Keenan Allen's your wide receiver 1, you're probably going to run into some
problems. Let's do some fucking parade or fade in a sense. Adam Thielen or Keenan Allen?
I'm gonna.
It's tough only because we're not as high on Thielen. I would go Thielen as well.
Yeah.
So would I.
Even I
Hilton over
like
Allen. Hilton over Allen, right?
Oh yeah.
T.Y.'s the one.
Amari Cooper over Allen. I know you go Cooper.
I'm Amari Cooper over.
I'm gonna go Keenan Allen.
Yeah, is that bias or do you?
That's
your
bias.
Fantasy team, it's the E-Town get down draft, and you have to take
$400 on the line.
Yeah, who would you take?
Then I would take Amari Cooper.
Okay, Stephon Diggs or Keenan Allen?
Diggs,
yeah, no doubt.
I feel like Keenan Allen's floor is like where Stephon Diggs' ceiling is, to be honest, at this point.
Really?
Yeah. I don't feel burned by Stephon Diggs last year. I had a lot of him.
Yeah, I think but he that's personal for you.
But he wasn't just like, how can you think he's going to be that much better this year than he was last year? The volume probably won't be there.
No, the volume's
we talked about it in our text the other day. Like his consistency was.
Yeah.
He had 8 of 15 games under 50 receiving yards.
That was actually a fun thing. We should have brought that up today.
Yeah,
but
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure.
Like if you had $100.
Listen, I don't want to go ahead and say big facts here because I don't have it with me. But I just remember reading something from the past where the last 4 or whatever, when they changed offensive coordinators,
he got way more targets than Thielen did,
and he was running way better. Like they had him running different routes.
Yeah,
but he wasn't good. He wasn't good at the end of the
running.
year, though. He wasn't good. He was still putting up like 60 yards a game.
Yeah, but you saw the where they wanted to focus the offense.
Diggs is one of those guys that has a knack for the end zone, though. He's like AB. And I think Diggs will have 8+ touchdowns in every year.
I also think Diggs has
He's an absolute
boatload
catch
more
guy. He
talent
makes
than
stuff
Keenan
make stuff happen.
Yeah, you're right.
So, like, at some point, if I think they're close, I'm going to take the talent over.
But Keenan Allen's going to get – how many targets did Stephon Diggs get last year? He probably got around where Keenan Allen got, actually.
No, I would assume it's around the same. But I'm going to take the talent over there.
The young talent. We haven't seen the upside. We've
I also
probably
think both
seen the upside.
offenses is probably going to be similar.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like, Melvin Gordon's a stud running back. He's probably top 5 running backs in the game.
I think the
They're gonna run
Chargers,
the ball.
are like low key. I feel like they have the same kind of game plan as the Saints do now, where it's like they have an older quarterback. Their game plan is to run the ball a lot, pass it to their running backs a lot, right? Keep it out of their quarterback's hands so they don't get hit. A lot of short routes, which is why Keenan Allen is perfect, and tight end is perfect. You know what I mean?
Consider,
I think they're like very similar in offenses.
And that is why you do like Keenan Allen, because he's always open.
Yeah.
Always open.
Diggs ended up with 148, Keenan 137. They both played in 15, so Diggs had more targets, but he had 200 less yards. So, but he'll score more touchdowns.
He will. And at the end of the day, touchdown scored the most points in fantasy. So
goddamn right they do. All right, so Keenan Allen is someone that will not be invited to my damn barbecue.
I don't blame him. He's pretty ugly too.
Let's move to the guys that we're gonna invite to the barbecue once everybody's drunk. Right? We don't like them, but they still might end up on our team. They still might end up at the barbecue. Let's go reverse order. Snacks, why don't you kick it off?
I will.
Even though I would actually be going if it was reverse order, but we'll let you kill it.
Either way, whatever you say.
Either way.
Sony Michel. So Sony Michel was drafted in the first round by the Patriots, which at the time last year I thought was odd because they don't use first round picks on positions like that.
No.
That's not what they do.
So if at last year you thought it was odd, what do you think about it now?
I don't know. Talking about it now. Listen. He's RB 24, 49 overall. I actually just drafted him in our Go Fade Me Dynasty League.
What round did you get him in?
Mistake.
I should have looked that up, but I don't remember. Probably 9, 10.
No, he didn't fall to the 9th or 10th round.
Yeah, I think he did.
No, I would have taken him.
I didn't have a pick for like 3 rounds.
Dog, I'm telling you.
You traded back in though, I think, in like.
Oh
07.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I did.
so
I'm probably 5 or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I did trade back in.
Mistake.
But either way, you're right. You're probably right. I may live to regret it.
He's gonna be busting tables in 2 years.
Chill.
I wouldn't go that far. My biggest thing is he's injured.
It's gonna be me.
He had knee surgery. He hasn't done anything this
knee's
offseason.
fucking terrifying.
He hasn't participated in OTAs, minicamp.
He just got scoped.
We don't know anything. That is a crowded backfield. James White is the clear-cut pass catcher in that backfield.
Anyone
and
know
they
what a
love
knee
those
scope
dump
is?
offs. Huh?
Anyone
I
know
think
what
it's
a
like
knee
a
scope is?
cleanup.
No, I have no idea. I always
Yeah,
thought
but
they
like,
put,
what
I
the
always
fuck
thought
does
they
that
put like a
mean? Well,
scope
it's
in the knee. They just
arthroscopic,
drilled
that's
the
the whole-
scope in the knee, and then they saw it like through the eye, like this.
You talking about like a microscope?
Yeah.
But like,
No,
what's
you're
that
wrong.
do for you?
I know I'm wrong. I'm
Okay.
just saying that's what I thought it
They're
was.
always like, oh, he got a
good.
knee scope. He got it cleaned up. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
And clearly, no one knows what it means because he hasn't
I
done
gotta add
anything.
like
He hasn't done anything.
I got like doctors as connections.
It's
like
a
I need to
cleanup.
figure this out.
It's basically it's minor surgery.
But I want to know. Like what the fuck that like? It's a cleanup, but why do you need to have 6 of them? You know what I mean? Like what is
problem.
what is a yeah? What the fuck is
It's
a
a problem.
scope? I'm upset.
I mean,
I'm somber right
It's
now.
a big problem.
Knee scopes, you're ruining my day.
If he wasn't drafted like first round by the New England Patriots in his system, then I wouldn't even go near him.
I'll tell you what. If
That
he
is like my biggest thing on why I invite him when I'm drunk.
Exactly. I'm like, oh yeah, he plays with the Patriots.
Like he was RB 20.
This is like a drunk fantasy combo.
Yeah.
If he didn't have first round draft capital, I don't think people would even touch him in fantasy.
I wouldn't.
well, because look,
He played 13 games last year. He was RB 28.
What round did Damien Harris go in?
Third round.
Yeah, so you got your eye on him.
They clearly have insurance back there.
Yeah. So I mean,
They're worried.
my
He had-
biggest thing with
he had
Sony
2
Michel
injuries
was-
last year too. He came into training camp with an injury, and then he got hurt
was a
week
knee,
7
yeah.
against the
this
Bears.
dates back to high school in 2011 when he tore that ACL.
He's injured,
That's
man.
a long time ago.
He is the definition of injury
and,
prone.
And you know what's something that the only thing that bothers me is, listen, he's got the ACL injuries. With those ACL injuries comes the arthritis, and Gurley has it, and it's all everyone's talking about.
Facts.
Nobody's mentioned it for Sony Michel. Like I've seen
because
maybe
no one said the A word.
I've
That's
seen
why.
maybe like 9
yeah,
tweets.
no one's come out and said.
I feel like you almost have to assume that he probably has it at this
Yeah,
point.
oh,
right?
yeah, he does.
If you don't, you're an idiot.
Yeah, so I think you have to understand.
Even if he doesn't, you
They
still
were
he's
saying
Todd
that all
Gurley
last
with
year,
some
bone on
less talent.
bone, like all those
Yeah.
terms were thrown out last year when when they were talking about
I
Sony
know.
Michel.
I know.
So a less talented Todd Gurley with way less receiving work, probably with arthritis.
That was
point.
my next point.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're just doctors,
on a
so
team
don't
with
take our word that
way more
seriously.
running backs that get rotated.
He has
Dr.
legitimately zero value in the passing game.
Yeah.
Zero. And you're playing in half PPR. You're going to enthrust him into your RB2 spot with zero receiving capabilities? No.
Yeah.
That's tough. But I will because I do think Sony Michel, he's a rare talent. He was a monster.
He's a
in the
very good
playoffs.
runner.
He's
Great
a very
runner.
good runner.
Now,
and they
here's-
clearly trust him. He carried them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, that's
why you take his
the only
talent.
thing. At first, I'm like, listen, I don't want him. I'm not going to invite him. And I get drunk, and I'm like, plays for Patriots, Bill Belichick. Like they run the ball. Like Tom
There's
Brady
a
can't
lot
throw
of
as much
easy
as he used
arguments.
to.
You know?
The
There's a lot of
last-
easy arguments for why you should invite
The
him.
last thing I saw was him running ramshot in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Like
Mm-hmm.
I could see why he's a first-round pick by Bill Belichick. You see it. But yeah, I'm not inviting him until I'm hammered.
So now here's the thing. What's his ADP?
He's right now. He's RB.
He's like a top 50 pick.
He's literally borderline 50.
'Cause
Yeah, he's 49 overall.
He's lucky because, dude, he started the offseason probably in like the 3rd round range.
Yeah,
He was
he's
really early,
dropped.
and then all of like the knee shit
He's
kept
dropped,
coming out. Yeah, and then he's dropped. But
Yeah,
I think it's like, I mean, the point is that he needs to keep dropping.
James White's going in the 6th. In the 6th round. Would you rather have James White or Sony Michel?
James White.
I'd
I mean,
rather have
Sony
James
Michel.
White.
Sony
Really?
Michel, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm-
I would rather have
I'm
Sony Michel.
all James White. Not even
would much rather have
close.
Sony.
Oh, I see. Maybe I'm more
Not
recency
even
biased, but
close.
James White killed it for the middle part of the
Yeah.
year for me last year.
Oh,
James-
James White, I was going to put him as my restraining order.
Really?
See, I love James White.
He
No,
averaged
no.
the second most fantasy
You could
points per
say no,
touch.
but I'm still gonna love him.
We already know what he was for 5 years, and then every running back in that fucking backfield got hurt, and that's why he played well.
Yeah.
Otherwise than that, he's just a scat back.
He still has a defined role. He's that pass catching back. He's gonna be
How
on that
good? That
field.
wasn't that good for the last 4 years before that.
It
Granted,
was,
no,
though. It
whatever.
was sneaky good.
It was sneaky, what, 8
good.
fucking points a game? That's not good.
Okay, but you're also
11.9.
considering. You're also considering.
Left
I'm also
year.
gonna factor in Sony Michel
Yeah.
missing games. Damien Harris, I have no idea who he is. James
Well,
White's
that's the
gonna.
point. They bring in Damien Harris, so now they're always going to have, between Harris, Burkhead, and Sony Michel, they're always going to have at least 2 of those backs probably.
Absolutely, and they
You're talking
had.
about for a flex spot?
I'm with you.
I would much rather have Michel than White.
Wow.
In the 6th round, absolutely.
Talking about second most fantasy points per touch. James White.
It's not predictive whatsoever. Weren't you saying something about Damian Williams, fantasy points per touch or some shit?
Well, that's a very short. That's a very
we got,
small
we got, we got
sample size.
lawyered 20 minutes
talking
into
about-
the show.
Lawyer,
about-
motherfucker. So these are guys you're not going to draft at their current ADP. You know, straight up, you just don't like them as people.
I'm going with Damien Williams. For a guy that's never been a bell cow back, your fantasy points per touch. And Damien Williams led the entire fantasy world. He had 1.063 fantasy points per touch. Number 2 was James White. James White has double the carry attempts and like
I love
four
James
times
White.
Oh, you're
targets.
drafting James White for his rushing attempts? For his
Never.
fucking 3.2 yards per carry?
Never.
No, but
Oh,
he
is
got
that
five,
high?
5 rushing touchdowns,
Yeah, exactly.
123 targets and 87
no,
receptions.
I
The
get
guy's a
it.
wide
They had no
receiver.
fucking running backs. All they did
I
was
know,
pass the ball.
I know what you're saying, but I'm also looking at the point where I could easily see Sony Michel missing a lot of time and James White coming right into that role he did last year.
Yeah.
Damien Harris, yes,
Damien
he's
Harris
third round
will
pick.
take
And
Sony
he's a
Michel's
good back.
spot.
We liked
James
him.
White stays
we
in
in
the
liked,
6th
White.
round, I'm going upside.
we liked him when we took. Yeah, okay, fine. That's a fair point.
James White's
I
not an
almost
outside player.
go
James
with
White's
the
gonna
fallback
stay
on the
James
floor
White.
because I know what
That's it.
James White's going to do.
Drop a comment down below. Who are you taking out of these Patriots running back? Because I'm actually fucking pissed right now. Michelle or James White? 6th round, half
Obviously,
PPR.
James White.
Rex
If it's not
Burkhead-
full PPR, you don't want James White. I'm telling you.
If it's half PPR, if it's full PPR, I want James White.
I
If
just
it's
said
standard. I said if it's half PPR, if it's full PPR, I
You're
want
just-
James White.
You're a fucking idiot.
Standard, maybe I'll take Michel.
Listen.
Maybe James White will give you 5
No, I
points
would.
a game.
I
Instead.
would.
Yeah.
I would. No, I'm not stupid.
if everybody's healthy.
If it's what?
If it's 3,
I'm saying standard. In standard.
Oh yeah, no, God,
Yeah.
no.
James White's like a
That's
fucking
different.
14th round pick.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
If
Alright.
I'm getting points for, even half points for his catches, then I like James White.
Get out of my fucking
I'm not
face.
drafting him. Don't worry. I'm just saying.
All right, I'm gonna fucking talk about someone I fucking might actually invite to the barbecue once I'm drunk. I'm getting there soon. I'm about to crack another one.
Oh, that last one's mine. By
We're
the
going
way.
for 3. We got some other shit.
That's not how numbers work.
I'm gonna go with Kenyan
The
Drake,
first one.
another
my first
AFC
one.
East running back.
We'll split it.
Now,
Guy.
I only put him on here because his current ADP on draft.com right now is skyrocketing. He's the 42nd player off the board. He's a top 42 pick. He's going right behind Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson, Josh Jacobs, Kenyan Drake is the next guy. And then David Montgomery's behind him. Philip Lindsay's behind him. When I think of Kenyan Drake, I don't want running backs for the Miami fucking Dolphins. Their
Yeah.
offensive line sucks.
Trash.
Their offense sucks, right? You look at Kenyan Drake, and people they just keep saying he's going to be the workhorse this year because Frank Gore is gone. I don't think that's what was holding him back from being the workhorse. I think we knew what Kenyan Drake was coming into the NFL. His carry totals at Alabama, 42, 92, 22, 77. He's not a workhorse running back. It's the same thing as Josh Jacobs.
He's a third down back.
There are plenty of
Reminds me
running
of
backs
Damien
that have come
Williams.
through Alabama. People always say, oh, he was splitting the backfield with him and him. Guess what? Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, all of these guys that went through Alabama had their seasons of 350 carries because they were good enough to have that. Right. If they believed that these guys were workhorses, he would have gotten more than 92 fucking carries in a year. Same thing with Josh Jacobs, and that's my problem is, they saw this in college. He's splitting work. And not that, dude, I think Drake is a very efficient running back. I think he's really good. But I think we know who he is.
Right.
I think to project him to be a workhorse in an offense that sucks anyways.
Huge mistake.
You know what I mean? Like, how many touchdowns is he going to score? Fucking 4?
If that.
You know what I
was
mean?
going to say 6.
Yeah, like 6 over under. If he scores 6, you'd probably be happy with how he turned out fantasy-wise. I do think he has a lot of upside in the receiving game, though. Even though it wasn't like Frank Gore was taking any of the numbers away from him, last year.
I mean, he was a beast.
Yeah,
That was all Gase.
Yeah, a lot of it was Gase, but they also have now a defensive-minded coach coming in. You can bring it in. You can bring it in.
Our chef.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
We're hungry, baby.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
look at
Look at this
that.
guy.
Look
He
at
did
this.
the full tray. Oh, thank you. Yes. Look at this. This is how it's done, guys.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Dad. Thank you,
Where
sir.
snacks comes from. A beautiful, beautiful human being. Thank you.
Man
You look
knows how to
beautiful.
grill. Thank you, Dad.
Give me 2 seconds so I can fuel back up and fucking start
Little
yelling about
pickles, that
Kenyon
was-
Drake again. So Kenyon Drake, again, this offense is just devoid of weapons, and it's not like Kenyon Drake is good enough to carry. He's not fucking Saquon Barkley. Like, he's not going to carry this offense.
you.
No, but do you think, like, with Josh Rosen being there now and
I think Fitz is going to be the quarterback there.
So do I. I can't
Unfortunately, which is weird because, like, you
for
have
like
to try
3
out
games,
Rosen.
Josh Rosen, they're going to play him.
I know, eventually.
They're going to have to. Like,
have no
why are
choice.
you going to start Fitz? There's no
the
point.
draft capital they gave wasn't out of this world for the 10th
third
overall
rounder
pick.
to see
Yeah.
what you know what the problem is? It's like he comes over from the Cardinals, and it's the same situation. So
Right.
why do you expect Rosen
Yeah.
to play any better in Miami?
It's not. I think Miami's a much better team than everyone thinks.
I think you're so fucking wrong.
Wait.
What did they win?
Repeat.
Six,
Wait.
Would they
Repeat-
win 6 games last year?
Repeat that sentence.
I think Miami's a much better team than everyone thinks.
I don't know what they won, but whatever it is, -1 because they had that lucky ass win against the Patriots that shouldn't have happened.
But they play the Patriots tight every year.
What the fuck does that have to do with it?
They're bound to win them every once in a while.
They had a Hail Mary on like a 70-yard fucking
I know.
6 tossbacks.
I was pissed that they called it the Miami Miracle. It was so unoriginal.
Yeah, so like
Like
don't
they called
give
it
us
the
like
Minnesota
a win.
Miracle, and now they're like the Miami Miracle.
Don't give us a fucking win-loss. Yeah, I remember that actually. That was one of our first episodes we
Yeah, I
did, and
was
you were like,
pissed
"We need to
off.
think of a good name for it."
Yeah.
That was one of the most important things. That's funny.
It's very important to me.
So Kenyon Drake, yeah, like I think what he did last year is what you're gonna get, and maybe like 30 more touches or something like that. But I don't want as a top 40 pick, he's going right behind Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson.
No,
Are
that's
you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
but now you got what's his name from the Patriots came over. I know he's a defensive guy. Flores.
So what?
being the
Now
head
he's
coach.
now he's Bill fucking Belichick.
No, he's not Bill Belichick. I'm just
Brian
saying
Flores, the
but
fucking D-back
a
coach.
similar type of a system where the running backs kind of flourish. Have always kind of flourished with the
But
Patriots.
he doesn't have
But
he's not
that's
a
such a reach.
sustainable
That's
wa-
such a reach.
He's
Yeah.
not a
Dude,
sustainable.
they were 7-9
season-long
last year. You
running
act like they
back.
sucked. They won 7 games.
Max,
with- I'm
animals.
just saying they
They're
have a
bad.
solid roster. It's a lot better
They're
of a
bad.
roster than you think it is.
Okay, I'm going to say they won 6
Along
games.
with the Bills.
I'm going to say they won 6 games because they didn't win that game against the Patriots.
Yeah.
What improvements did they make this offseason?
Coach. Quarterback.
How do we know? How do we know their coach is better? Well, Adam Gase is a disaster, but you hired a
No, he
first-time
was really
coach.
good on Denver, though. He was a great
Oh,
coach.
that's right. Yeah, Peyton Manning.
He was an offensive coordinator.
Wow.
Okay, Kenyon Drake or Brandon Cooks?
Great job on the Bergs, by the way.
Kenyon Drake or Brandon
yeah.
Cooks?
Delicious, that thing. Brandon Cooks.
Kenyon Drake or Robert Woods?
Woods.
Woods is going behind
yeah.
Kenyon Drake in drafts
That's
right
absurd.
now. Absurd.
That is
the hype for
No,
Kenyon
you're
Drake is skyrocketing
That is the
right
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Dude, it's real.
I take both of those, and I
now.
literally.
David Montgomery's behind Kenyon Drake. Kenny Galladay's behind Kenny Drake. Chris Godwin's behind Kenny Drake. Dude, there's a lot of Tyler Lockett.
I give a pint of blood before I take Kenyon Drake over Woods or Cooks. Are you kidding me?
100%. This is their ADP on draft.
That's bad. No.
That's my
you guys
problem.
gotta
I like
smarten
Drake.
up.
I think he'll have a much better year.
He'll be fine. He'll
Yeah,
be fine. I'll
but
play him in
not
a
that
flex.
fucking
I'll
early,
play him.
man.
I'll stash him on my bench, play him in a flex a week I have a bye. But no, I'm not counting on him. That ADP is ridiculous.
If you go with the running back in the first 2
flying. That was
rounds,
flying
get
up.
Robert Woods in that 4th round.
absolutely
4 weeks ago, his ADP was nowhere near it.
No, it wasn't, dude. Which is why I
He's
think
moving.
I think they've moved. I think draft what
I
they might
said
be
a couple
doing.
things people heard. Word
But
spread.
the thing is, they had their best ball drafts open since like February, so the ADP wouldn't move that much because like there's so many drafts to consider. I think what they might be doing now is taking the last 2 weeks of ADP and putting it as their data, which is more telling though because that's the most recent.
Yeah, exactly.
So Kenyan Drake at 42, that's the reason why I might invite him to my barbecue, because if he falls like the 6th round or the 5th round
Then
or
you
something,
pounce.
he might be on my team.
Well,
yeah.
it's good value at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think what the late night booty call drunk barbecue invites are kind of like a value pick.
He about fits the definition of that.
Exactly. Yeah. He's nice and juicy. Like Kenyan Drake's a curvy motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
In
I
fantasy
listen.
football. So
Great ass.
She got a great ass.
the equivalent of having a great ass. And it's dark out. Maybe the face is a little
You
like
can't
the
really-
team's not good. The
You can't
face
really
ain't
see
good.
him. You blurred vision.
Exactly.
Been there.
You guys are blurred by Fitzmagic. Animal. Who might make it to your barbecue? Who are you booty calling?
Robbie Anderson. And here's the deal.
I like this.
This is a good
Here's
one.
the deal. What I do like is the speed. He's a burner, and he's a deep threat. What I don't like is the new system, the new coach, currently nursing an injury that is something that all these fast, skinny guys kind of deal with. They're
What's
always
he got?
tweaking something.
What's he got injury-wise?
It's an undisclosed minor injury, like
I
a
hate
tweak.
those
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
So, like, what is it?
Like,
Is
what
it a
do we know?
hammy? Is it an ankle? Like, your game is speed. If something's wrong, that throws your entire game off.
I'm telling you, that's where Twitter comes into play. If you
Yeah.
search his name on Twitter right now, you'll probably be able to find out what it is.
What I did like was, though, when you saw Darnold towards the end of the season, kind of, becoming more of an NFL quarterback and playing a lot better, he was averaging 9.2 targets over those last 5 games of the seasons, and over the last 5 games of the season, and he scored 3 touchdowns in those 5 games, which was half of his entire touchdown totals for the season. He only scored 6 touchdowns.
Right.
So you saw towards the end of the season, him and Darnold kind of had a nice connection going.
Them two
Well,
were really
Yeah, they
fucking
build
good down the stretch.
rapport. Yeah.
The only problem is the new coach, new system. Is that all going to stay the same now? And with that ADP in the 7th round,
I think 7th round is okay. I think anything earlier than that is very like.
is he
risky.
really a wide receiver 1
It
though?
could
That's
be a
like
good
the thing.
reward.
I don't think he's like an all-around wide receiver enough to like give you the upside that people think he does.
One good thing.
I look at him as like
That's
a
it.
poor man's Djax. Like he's like a
Yeah.
like a
That's a- yep.
shitty,
Excellent
the
comparison.
shittier boomer bust deep threat guy. Like he's gonna
But he's
either
still
get
young,
that
so he
60-yard
could.
touchdown.
That's
or
the
not.
other thing too. He's actually not that young. So if he was going to be,
24 or 25,
I think he's like 26.
I thought he was 26, 27.
Someone
yeah.
look that up. Yeah, someone look that up while I'm about to make my next point.
Got
But
it.
yeah, that's the thing is like I think he's a little older than people thought. So if he was going to be Djax, if he was going to develop into it,
he's 26.
yeah, he's 26. So like
Exactly.
we probably would have seen that more glimpses at age 22, 23 rather than him having his semi breakout year at 26. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think a lot of it will come down to whether or not Sam Darnold progresses too, and I
Yeah.
expect him
Well,
to.
That's
He
part
should.
of me is like, listen, I liked what I saw from Sam Darnold from towards the end of the season. I think he's going to be a solid NFL quarterback, barring Gase and
Well, he's
other
got, he's got to
coaches
cut
completely
down those
destroying
turnovers,
him.
But yes, yeah.
Yeah, turnovers as a rookie don't really worry me though. I don't really.
No, he was a turnover machine at USC too.
Yeah, but college
fumbled,
also.
threw interceptions,
College
it's
doesn't
just
matter
good.
to me anymore. You had 1 year in the NFL.
I
That's
mean,
all
if
I
you're
care
going to
about
do
now.
one thing in college, you're probably going to do it in the NFL.
That's not true. Not entirely, but the main reason why I kind of changed my mind and I come back like, you know what, maybe I will, is just because he does have that Djax upside of the the young Djax when he was getting those 60-yard, he'd get 3, 4 60-yard touchdowns a
Djax
year.
at his best was not just a deep ball player. He was like a very solid wide receiver.
And you're kind of hoping that Robbie Anderson
he
can
was-
be that if
dude,
he's
he's a
going to be
beast.
the
Yeah.
consensus one in that offense.
Yeah,
Because it's
Djax
not
was a
Quincy Enunwa.
good wide receiver that also caught 60-yard passes.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean that's the other thing is like they added a lot of players onto their offense. Like Jameson Crowder, Le'Veon Bell, but I mean none of those guys are doing anything
the
around
biggest
where
thing
Anderson
with
is.
Anderson worries me is like the numbers, like the receptions. He's never been over 65 receptions.
Yeah, which
this
is not
season.
bad. I mean, for someone who's going to average 17, 18 yards per reception, like that's fine.
Yeah, 15 yards is his average.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm not like
14 and a half for the career.
I'm not like too worried about that because he's a big playmaker, and he'll give you those boomer bust weeks. But that's the thing about like season long, right? It's like how good's the offense? That's risk number one. Number two is like you always have to bake in the fact that you have to make sit-start decisions, right? Great best ball pick, but like when you have to decide if he's your wide receiver 3 or 4, and you're like, oh, do I flex him or? I think like a reasonable flex decision would be like I think we'll see like Robbie Anderson or Kenyan Drake during this year. I think that'll be a question we hear a lot of.
That's
you know
a good
what I mean?
debate.
Yeah, and then depending on the matchup, it's like I don't know.
It's a matchup dependent.
And it's not easy to choose those guys, because they are like matchup dependent and they'll both have their weeks. So Robbie Anderson is a guy, he
So
might be a
here's-
drunk booty call. He's someone that I won't target but I hope I do land in like one of my leagues.
Robby Anderson or Will Fuller.
Oof.
They're both going around the same ADP.
I'm gonna go Robby Anderson.
Early 7.
It would depend on what the rest of my team is like. If I have solid receivers, I'm gonna go with Will Fuller.
He's got more upside. Yeah,
I think Will Fuller's like really fucking good,
he
and I
is
actually
really good,
think
but
this might be the year that I buy in on Will Fuller. I've never
just
been in.
been
on
hurt.
him.
Stupidly injured.
He's
stupidly.
Which
he
is
was,
why
he was
if-
averaging like a touchdown a game when he came back.
And that's
If I go three receivers,
for that sole reason, I go Robby Anderson. But yes, absolutely. Will
if I go
Fuller has
3
20
receivers
times
that
more
I'm not
potential.
worried about injury-wise at all, which is very hard to do with 3 receivers in a row, then Will Fuller is going to be my upside bench play or
so, like,
upside
and
flex
here's
play.
the thing I look at, like, you can get Robby Anderson in this early 7, or you can possibly get Christian Kirk in the early 8th. Like, I'd rather have Christian Kirk, I think, in the early 8th over Anderson in the 7.
Oh, the upside there is 20
Right?
times
So,
better
like,
than that. Yeah.
It's just the little things that you got to look at when you're thinking about maybe taking a guy there at that spot.
A lot of good booty calls.
All right, let's talk about restraining orders. Guys that that are way off our draft radar, no matter how far they fall on the list. Animal, you had some fucking absurd names on here, like that are not even being picked within the top 17 rounds. Like obviously,
one guy we didn't even think was playing this year.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson?
Isn't he an announcer?
It's the only guy I have. Well, Josh Jacobs was my other one, but you took that, so.
No, you have 4 on your list right now. Greg Olson,
but-
Golden Tate, Darius Geis.
Yeah, Geis I can, maybe a little bit, but.
I think Geis is good. I think all these injury-prone players that have a big.
Guys had a lot of hype coming out of college.
He's a great player, but
from what we saw in college, absolutely.
the infection to his knee that pushed everything back
Scary,
3 months
man.
is
That's
scary.
scary.
Then they re-signed Adrian Peterson, and
Makes him weak.
Peterson's crazy. He's like
Old.
out of his mind. But at the same time, like, why would he sign a 2-year deal and like be talking about how much he's going to be playing?
Talking about
Like he
going
wouldn't
for
re-sign.
2,000
He
yards.
wouldn't
Trying to
re-sign just to sit on the bench. Remember
Trying to climb
how
those record
annoying he got
books.
last year with the Saints? He
Yeah.
made them get rid of him.
No, he's a ball player.
You know what I
man.
mean? Like he wants to play. If
He
he's
wants
sitting
to
on the
play.
bench, he's not going to be on the team.
He's
No,
a
I
stud.
know.
He's. You know what's crazy? And just before we,
I
really,
love
before,
AD. I love
before we
AD.
get really into it,
Fucking real late. Give me him.
No, I won't take him.
he missed a full year. I think he missed like a half another year. I almost forget how good he was in Minnesota.
2,097 yards or something like that.
He was so good. Maybe I'm just an idiot for forgetting, but my God,
What?
I mean-
Who?
I'm AP.
Oh, every once in a while, when the booty calls don't pick up my texts or my calls, I watch AP college
tape?
highlights. Yeah,
The
100%.
greatest highlight tape of all time. It's even better than Reggie Bush's.
Yeah, we had that debate. I remember early on, one of our first Fade the Public episodes.
AP's is better than Reggie Bush's.
Yeah, it probably is. It's so much more like tantalizing.
As
you know?
a running back fan, you want Reggie Bush is more versatile. Yes, absolutely. More
AP's
elusive.
literally just like if you had Madden
He's a
and
locomotive.
just put
more
all the
flashy.
fucking stats to
He's
the
a-
right.
He's a locomotive.
AP still just ran people over, and there's
And
nothing
he had one
cooler
hell of
than
a
that.
career, man.
God,
Unbelievable.
imagine trying to tackle him in college. All right, so who is Darius Geis your guy on this list?
No, I mean, if you want me to go last, I can.
I'll go first. Fuck it, because I hate Josh Jacobs.
Huh.
I don't even think I really hate him, but at this point, I've gone far enough into it that I want to be the guy that's known as the person who hates Josh Jacobs.
Oh yeah, you already
I
put
mean,
your
I'm
name
right
on
there
that a
with
few
you.
weeks
So
ago.
I put this on there. There is nothing outside of that first-round draft capital that says Josh Jacobs should be anywhere near a first-round running back prospect. Think about the guys that get drafted where Josh Jacobs got drafted. Jacobs, just like Kenyan Drake, the most carries he ever had in a season, I believe, was 120 last year. He was the backup to Damien Harris for the last 3 fucking years, right? And then he ran, like a 4.65 40 at his combine, which is slower than like Devin Singletary and David Montgomery. Shit on them all you want. All the rest of his athletic scores were really, really far down too. Like there's nothing about his profile that says first-round running back, right?
And we said that even from the beginning.
Right. You
We
could
were
look at-
drafting him early in our mocks because just the sheer
Yeah.
volume and whatnot. But no, what has he done? Go
Dude,
ahead.
I think Jalen Richard is also going to fucking eat into that pass catching work.
Yeah.
The only way, the thing is, like,
Good
I still
ball
think this
player.
Oakland Raiders offense is going to be, it's on your left temple, Animal. Yeah, the fly. No, it's on the brim of your hat. No, he's gone now. He's like, I'm done. I just sucked your entire brain out in 1 second.
there wasn't much to
I
say.
know, that's why I was so quick. Yeah, so Josh Jacobs, like, I think he's a good receiving back. I don't think his numbers from college show how. Did you just catch that?
He's fucking right there.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck,
Fly,
I would
fly.
move the camera and zoom in on
Scott,
it.
you better fucking.
Can you at least kill it? Like, put it out as misery? I
I'm
feel
not
bad.
a murderer.
I'm not a murderer. I'm just going to let it suffer. I'm going to fucking kill that thing.
You see how hard I spiked that thing in the
That's
ground?
what Josh.
Wow, he's still alive. Yo, he's strong.
Josh Jacobs is gonna ruin your fantasy fucking seasons.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like, obviously, if he fell into, like, the 6th round, I'm taking him, but he's going in the 3rd round.
Which is asinine.
Dude.
Asinine.
I'm telling you, the only way I see him really returning value on your team is if he catches 60 balls, because he's going to score like 5 rushing touchdowns this year, maybe. He'll probably, and that's the other thing with these small sample sizes. Like, I'm not saying he's like injury prone because he's not shown that, but a lot of guys can't take that load and eventually get worn down and get hurt.
You're saying going from a low where he was at to a bell cow role.
Yeah.
And
when you're picked in the first round, you know,
you can't handle a bell cow role in college. What makes you think they can do it in the NFL? It's like something that simple.
Exactly. It's the double combination of maybe he can't handle it from a fucking injury standpoint. Who knows? But why would you not be the workhorse there if you were good? If you're a fucking first round NFL pick, you should command all of the touches in your college backfield.
I don't get it.
You know what I mean? And like I said before, this is the exact same point I made with Kenyan Drake. That's what he was in college, and that's exactly what he is in the NFL. And there have been plenty of running backs in Alabama that have gotten 300-plus carries because we knew they were the workhorses and we knew they were legit NFL running backs. And Josh Jacobs it seems like we're going to get hyped up, of course, because he has the first-round draft capital. But when he busts and we look back, we're going to be like, wow, it was so fucking easy to see coming because he was not good. There's nothing objectively good about Jacobs except for the first-round draft capital. So,
which is still crazy.
Right, exactly. And it's the rate. It's fucking crazy. John Gruden and Mayock. I mean, like, dude, they got their guy. And that's the other thing that scares me.
It's a semi-crowded backfield too. I mean,
Lynch retired. They only re-signed
receptions.
Martin because fucking.
Well, yeah.
Wait, who got hurt?
Crowell towards.
Crowell. Yeah, they signed Crowell and then he got hurt.
Yeah, but Martin, he
and then
Martin, I'm not scared about that.
Big old
I'm really just scared about Jalen Richard taking a lot of pass catching work because if Josh Jacobs is a 2-down fucking back in the Raiders offense, like, dude, like,
bad.
What are you getting in fantasy for a third-round pick?
Third-round pick. You probably finished last.
If he's your third-round pick.
Jalen Richard had 68 receptions last year.
Dude, Jalen Richard was really good.
And he averaged 4.7 yards a carry. Like, he's not like a bad
play.
runner.
He has a lot of attempts, bro. He's going to eat into that workload.
He hasn't got a lot of carries. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Which is fine. He get games where he had like 2 carries.
You're in a PPR league and you want to flex him out. That's fine.
I think if Josh Jacobs needs 55 to 60 catches to be a really to return value.
I don't see that happening.
Me either. I don't see him getting more than like
200
carries.
I haven't even come close.
I have in my note, Josh Jacobs, bitch boy, low carries in college.
You a bitch boy.
So he's bitch.
Yeah.
All right.
Draft that.
Yeah. So Josh Jacobs is. I have a fucking restraining order against Josh Jacobs.
I got one too, and
against.
This one kind of hurts me to say because
I was gonna say I think you know what's next. I honestly think we might look back at the end of the year and just be like, we fucked up on this one because he's just so good at running.
He is.
He's like really that good.
He's a great running back.
Yeah.
Chris Carson.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know. We were talking about before you got here, and I was very torn. I was very torn, but the reasons why I say it, they make sense.
All right, let's hear it.
So we just got
Convince me.
He just got a knee scope.
Why?
Like I said, we don't really know what a knee scope is.
Snacky poo. Remember where you're at right now. Chris Carson, you're getting a restraining order, knee scope. I think we got to go to a commercial break.
Hello, miss. I heard you had some leaky pipes that need filling.
Oh, yes. Please enter me. I mean my home.
You weren't lying. It's so wet in this kitchen.
Well, I think I'm going to change it to something a little cozier.
It's a f***ing mess down here. What have you been stuffing down here in these good old this dumb broad over here? Gotta clean all this things. Goddamn. Get paid enough. Barry don't get paid. Barry O don't get paid enough for this.
Ah, that's so much better. This is the comfiest sweatshirt ever.
Yeah. Think I can touch it?
You want to touch it, Big Barry?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Tell me what you think.
Amazing. What is this, cashmere?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, this looks like a 50-50 cotton polyester blend with the double needle stitching.
Yeah, well, I bet you'd like to rip it off me, wouldn't you?
What, are you crazy? Why would I want to harm such a warm, soft, beautiful sweatshirt? Where'd you get this? I must have one.
Well, you can have me right now, Big Barry.
Nah, just a sweatshirt is fine. Where can I get one?
You can get it at BigDogsFantasy.com along with 4 other colors.
Oh, great, thanks! Hey, sorry I didn't get to fix your leaky pipes. Or have sex with you.
Delivery for Heath Dyer.
That's me.
Wow, that's an incredible sweatshirt.
So Chris Carson had a knee scope, which clearly we've said a few times in the show today.
We told everybody exactly what it was, so
Right.
they should know by this point.
They should absolutely know. They put a microscope in your knee without like putting you under anesthesia. They just put it in and they like look.
And it fixes 0 problems.
We all have doctorate degrees, so that's actually true. But yeah, I mean, I love Chris Carson. He was, towards the first half of last year was all right. What's he gonna do? And then he just broke out. He was a stud. He was a stud. They are in a run-heavy offense, so we have to like that, right? That's a positive. But he does, that injury concern, it scares you. And Rashad Penny's nipping at his heels.
That's my main concern.
That is my
There's
biggest
so many
concern.
of these fucking running backs that have this first-round capital. And
It's
historically, are we getting to the point where like first-round capital is maybe not that big of a deal?
It could be to that
Ronald
point.
Jones,
Dude, look at
early
Phil
second
Lindsay.
round. Ronald Jones
Phil
was, like,
Lindsay,
5 picks away from
undrafted.
being a
Royce
fucking-
Freeman was a third-rounder,
Chris
and
Carson
they didn't even
was
give a
seventh.
shit.
Chris Carson was 7th
Yeah.
round, but Rashad Penny was first, and he might have more talent.
But I mean,
I think we're getting away from the stereotypes of like how the running backs needed to all be built like AP. Now
Right.
it's just like put the best running backs on the field.
well, that's how it always kind of
Which,
should
I
have
mean,
been.
in the
But
Seattle-
coaches
It's always
wanted
should've
to
been,
be
I'm
like,
saying,
listen,
but
I
that's-
drafted this guy in the first. He's going to be good. I'll show you.
Well,
Doesn't matter how it should
in the
have
Seahawks case, I think
That's the only thing I'm scared about Jacobs with because I think Gruden's gonna fucking be like, oh, we use first round, we're gonna kill him even if he sucks.
we have to maximize
Yeah.
that value of
Yeah.
our draft
Anyways,
capital,
yeah, I'm
'cause
sorry.
We use that for Khalil Mack,
Yep.
which is just
Whole nother fucking.
yeah. We'll talk about that another time.
podcast.
but just never again because it's absurd. But no, yeah, I mean, I love Chris Carson, I do, but I'm staying away. His injury concerns me. Rashad Penny being right up his ass concerns me even more. I know Mike Davis is gone. He played an integral part. He took carries. He took targets away. But RB 27, 58 overall. I think I could do better there. I do. It's so tough now that like.
See now, but even with Mike Davis gone now, and like the Seahawks being the running football team right now in the NFL, even if he splits like the workload with Rashad, it's going to be like how Carson and Mike Davis were last year,
Right.
and whoever else was carrying the ball. There were so many people carrying the ball.
I
there.
think Penny has
get
upside
that.
though that Mike Davis never had.
Much more.
Well,
And
exactly.
where they
Much
are
more
in the
talented,
draft, though,
for
like
sure.
where you're drafting Chris Carson, I think there's a lot of risks, but you could also grab guys like I know you love Calvin Ridley's going to be right there. I think when drafts come around, you're going to be able to pick between like Lockett and Chris Carson, and I would rather have Lockett. I'm
So would
gaining
I.
on Lockett a lot this year.
Oh hell yeah,
You're
brother!
going to get a lot of mid-round
Look at
wide
this.
receivers. Oh, my
Look at
fucking
this.
man. Thank you. Just fucking
Dying
top
over
off.
here.
I'm about to.
So I'm talking
these
about
fucking
American
beers.
beer.
I'm
You
a
know what I mean?
beast. In the most humble way possible. I'm a fucking beast.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need you to. Yeah.
Fucking cheers, boys.
Wait.
Cheers, boys.
Salute, boys. To fade the public,
dude.
to football being back. But yeah, end of the day, I love Chris Carson. He's good talent. I am concerned. Knee scope going right into training camp. I'm concerned about Rashad Penny being right there. First round draft capital. I think they're going to want to get him even more involved. And he's a good talent, too.
Yeah,
I love
Penny
Rashad
got
Penny.
banged up
I
like
love
early
him.
in the year
He
last
did.
year. Otherwise, I think he would have made his way into the lineup like
There-
earlier and kind of ate away.
Carson's
some things.
production could have easily been faltered if Penny doesn't get hurt.
Mhm.
Because we all know with those rookies, once they miss time in the beginning, it takes a long time for those coaches to build trust and get them into
Big
games.
uphill battle. That's why I
big
love
uphill
Miles
battle.
Sanders coming into the year, but now that he's dealing with this hamstring injury, man, and
There's a big precautionary tail on him.
like when you enter a
Well,
running back by
there's
committee,
same thing going on with Debo Samuel. He's got like a lingering now injury that's gonna.
I'm not too worried about him because I mean they have no one at wide receiver.
I just
there.
hate when I hear about injuries early in the season before they started that are known to be lingerers.
Yeah.
And it's just like
At this
makes
point
me
in the
nervous.
season, I'm not too nervous about it, but like if something happens in
nervous.
August, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Probably off my draft board.
Well, that's just a few weeks to the season, so you have to.
Dude,
be.
it's fucking July 1st. If they're
Yeah.
watching, it's July 4th. We're a month away from August.
I said it. I
We're a
said it
fucking month
before.
away from
I
August.
said it before. I said it before we went live. This is the last month where we won't have live game football until February.
Chris
So
Carson.
yeah, Chris Carson.
A lot of these mid-round running backs just
pains me.
have the same fucking problems, man. They're
I
all
just-
they're injury prone. They have another back that is
Yeah.
fucking on their heels, and this is a league that uses a lot of fucking committees, man.
At RB 27, I mean, yeah, that's fine. It's not, it's not drastic. You're not reaching for him or anything, but I still like a few other options at that point. Like you said, like a Tyler Lockett or, I mean, maybe even a Cooper Kupp or something like that. Like around that vicinity. I'm
Yep.
not. It scares me. That backfield scares me, and I just don't want any part
I
of
would
it.
much rather have Penny a round or two later.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. I
And
would
that's
rather
where it is.
maximize my value in round 8 as opposed to round
So you,
6.
to be clear here, you are not drafting Chris Carson.
No,
All right.
anywhere.
You have a
Unless
restraining
he
order
falls
against
to
him.
like the 10th round.
No, that's like saying unless you're really desperate and lonely, you will still fuck him.
You're right. I had a connection. He was really good to me last year.
yeah.
See,
like
I-
you
But
gotta
I
get
just
off
the
it.
circumstances
like-
now,
I really
things
like Chris
change.
Carson.
Things change. I don't like him. Your
Animal-
opinion may differ.
Animal,
That's
who's
fine.
your,
Go ahead.
who
Do
you-
it.
So I got two guys here. I'm gonna to give you here. One of them.
Sorry, congrats on the fucking sex.
One of them.
Animal.
Yeah,
Really?
right. Getting busy. One of them's Greg Olson. Yeah, I know he's 34 years old, and
He's
he's
also like the 340th pick.
and probably not a lot of people are drafting him. But I saw mock drafts where he was going in the 13th and 14th round, and I don't even know why.
Was
He's
this a
being,
mock draft from 2014?
Oh, these were
or-
real. These were real mock drafts on Fantasy Football Calculator. These were real mock drafts. Listen, the guy to own is Ian Thomas from the Panthers. So just
big fan. of
don't
Ian Thomas.
draft Greg Olson. I'm not going to go
I don't
into
like
much
his name.
analysis on it. Just don't draft Greg Olson. Draft Ian Thomas if you're going to take a Panthers tight end. My real guy is Deonta Foreman. I know we recently kind of said maybe it was Darius Geis. It's Deonta Foreman, and here's why.
You're not going Deonta. Like you hate Deonta Foreman.
I will not draft him.
I almost put Lamar Miller on this list. I think this is the
See,
year that it
I
runs
love
out.
Lamar Miller.
I loved him last year, and I think I caught him on the last year that you can love him.
That was it.
Really?
This year's done.
I don't think so.
First of all, he's like he's.
He was
I don't
barely
even
good
think he-
last year,
I
and
don't
now
think-
he has Deonta Foreman actually battling.
I don't have it off the
Backfield.
top of my head. I don't think he's 30, but he's an old.
Dude, I'm
like
pretty sure he's like
20-something.
24.
But he's an.
Who, Lamar Miller?
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he's younger than Josh
say
Jacobs is.
hypothetically.
I think he's 28.
Say, yeah, I think 20.
Yeah.
Say he's
This is
27.
last year.
He's an
Yeah,
old
this is it.
27.
Yeah, but that's
he's a very
why
old 27.
That's why I think Deonta Foreman's not going to get the touches that everyone's thinking he's going to get. I think they're still going to utilize Lamar Miller for the last year that they have him.
Yeah.
They're going to run him into the ground and give Deonta, if they really want to see him be their running back of the future, I don't think he's ready yet from that injury. He's still milking this stuff. I mean, it's an Achilles injury, number one. He's a 230-pound back. So there's a lot of things to consider here when you're talking about a running back who's never even what was he had 10 carries a game for a couple games.
He came back at the end of last year.
And was shit though.
He had like one carry for like -5 yards or some shit.
Yeah.
He had a nice receiving touchdown.
I'm not.
but
I'm not.
Here's the
putting
thing
too
with
much
Lamar
stock
Miller.
into that.
Lamar Miller
He's 28.
was only barely relevant last year because he literally had no one to even compete with him.
Yeah.
If you give Deonta Foreman like 6 fucking carries a game, Lamar Miller's not even a flex play.
I drafted Deontay Foreman in our dynasty league. I like Deontay Foreman. I've loved it.
I'm not mad at it either. 2
I-
years removed from the Achilles, I'm
Yeah.
okay taking the chance.
And
on
they're
it.
gonna if they're gonna put Lamar
Yeah, but see, the
Miller
thing
into
is,
the
it's
ground.
2 years and he's still like kind of
They're
not
easing him back in.
100%.
That's
We don't know that.
Where report did
see.
you see that?
It's been 2 years now, and I've never seen like Deonta Foreman
He missed
100%.
one- he
It's
missed
always
the
like
1 year.
working, towards 100%.
Deontay Foreman was an absolute stud in college.
So what?
I get that. I get
what?
that. But we talk about production. We didn't see it from Josh Jacobs. He was a first round pick.
His
We
ADP
saw
right
the
now is the
production.
end of the 9th round.
That's a little.
That's a
little much. Yeah.
That same. Listen,
I
it's not
would-
even
I get what you're saying.
the
But
players
I
they're
like
giving me are
Deontay
given
Foreman
in
long
the
term.
11th
I think
round.
he could be a very good running back. He stays healthy. He gets the opportunity. I like that offense.
Same team. Kiki Cutie, Deonta Foreman. Who do you want?
QT.
QT's going in the 11th round.
It's not even close for me.
But like,
I almost might take QT over Fuller.
I think you kind of have to with Fuller's injury history.
Yeah, but Fuller's going way earlier than him.
I like Will Fuller.
Marquez,
I think it's because QT
MVS
is such a fucking value.
MVS
right
or Deonta Foreman.
now. MVS.
He's going in the 12th.
Oh, no, I get it.
Like, I'm not touching Deonta Foreman. He's going in the 9th
probably
now, going in the
won't either.
10th.
So in
if
my
he was
draft-
going in the 15th, I probably wouldn't
He
even
wasn't
take him.
one of the guys that I penciled in and I wrote on my,
I will
my
say this,
handy-dandy notebook that I'm
what's his-
targeting, but yeah.
Dr. Morris did he's doing 40 injury write-ups for my draft guide this year, and he has 3 players off on his do not draft list this year that he will not touch no matter what their price is. Leonard Fournette's one of them. Deonta Foreman's the other one. One of the other ones, and I actually forgot who the third guy is, but Deonta Foreman was the number 2.
Well, I
unfortunately.
think Leonard Fournette's the biggest one there. I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't seen.
I'm not as low on
Foreman, really.
Fournette, but
Yeah,
Foreman
so is I. But
Foreman scares me
He's in the
because
third round. Fournette.
I'm telling you, they're
going
going to use
He's
Lamar
late
Miller.
there. I almost put Leonard Fournette on here, but I've just talked about him so much on my channel that I was like, I'll save you guys the fucking bullshit.
And didn't they draft 2 guys? I know it doesn't mean a lot, but don't
For
they
who?
have
Who?
the Texans? Didn't they draft Crockett?
They draft.
and,
I think Crockett was either
Higdon?
7th round. He might have been
Is that
undrafted
different
free.
team?
I think they might have picked 2 guys up off of free agency.
Yeah.
But neither of them were actually running backs. One of them was a
They
weapon.
got rid of Alfred Blue. That shows there's
Oh God, dude! You know what?
a little
Don't ever mention Alfred
there's
Blue
a little
in front of me
confidence
again.
in him.
One, they're
I
1,000%.
hate that fucking guy.
What?
I hate him.
They're 1,000% gonna take one of the stud running backs in next year's class. But it's weird that they didn't even address the position, not even sign a Spencer Ware,
Not even
or,
remotely.
You know what I mean?
They didn't sign.
Which is why it tells you,
Carlos Hyde
which
or
is
something.
exactly, which is why it tells you I feel like they have confidence in Deonta Foreman.
So why?
7
And that's-
carries for -1 yard.
But look at his receiving
that's-
stats.
It's also-
2
it-
receptions for 28
It's
yards.
also a
And a
stupid.
touchdown.
It's
He
also
had a
a
nice receiving
Yeah.
touchdown.
It's also a stupid small sample.
Oh, I know. It's
If
ridiculous.
he gets to play, he might. We'll see. You know what? Honestly, he might be my favorite person to watch preseason.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Lamar Miller plays in the preseason. If they know they're going to run him, they're going to want to get Foreman every snap they can get.
So we pretty much rounded it out, right? We did the entire fucking barbecue. Who in our town is coming? Who's not coming?
Yeah.
Who we have restraining orders against? Who might be our booty calls? I mean, shit. I think it's time to celebrate. July 4th. Should we fucking spark off some fireworks?
Why the fuck not? You want to do some comments and questions?
There's
first?
at least 2 on here I think I have to read. All right, let's get into these comments here. Jack Keller, honestly, all I can describe this podcast as is controlled mayhem.
Yo, Jack's my boy. Funny
Agreed.
story. Jack's been following me for years. He's in high school, and he said one day he was at his senior night or something for a soccer football game, and he was yelling out Big Dog's got to eat or whatever, and some kid got up in the stands and turned around. I was like, yo, you watch Nick Ercolano on YouTube?
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah, it's wild. I remember he tweeted that.
You
and
believe that lie?
Probably. I mean, why would I not?
Kidding,
It
Jack.
made me feel
I'm
good.
kidding. That's awesome.
No,
That's
Jack's
really
a fucking
cool.
beast.
That's
Jack,
cool.
yeah, you're a beast.
Jack's been the homie.
Gordon Costa. Nick, I absolutely love the confession cam idea.
Dude,
yeah, it's a good one.
Fantastic. I think every league should implement that.
If you don't have that, definitely put that into your live drafts if you're doing them. Notorious Fantasy, Fade the Public, High Key, best podcast out there.
High key. We're not
Agree with
hiding.
you, brother.
Mm.
Ryan Williams, blah, blah, blah.
Thank you.
Snacks,
By the
death
way.
by shotgun to the vagina. Love it.
This guy won a
Perfect.
free draft guide on my live stream today.
Did he?
Yeah, you know what I did?
You
It was
let him
actually
win that
fun.
with a
Beast.
comment like that?
I didn't see this at this
Beast.
time.
Love
Otherwise,
it.
I would have given 2.
This guy right here. This is a question probably more for
Yeah.
you, Michael K. CPA. How do we decide who should be commissioner? Please help.
It's more of a question for you guys. I mean, who do we decide?
No,
I think it's a natural thing.
It is.
Yeah,
You know who it is, by
Michael.
the
You
way.
just do. Who's organized, who's fair,
Yeah.
who's fucking democratic, but also a fucking dictator.
Who's
when
the
they need to be.
who's the big dog in the group? Who's
Yeah.
the leader?
Like,
Who's going to take control and make shit happen?
There's
and get it
listen.
done?
You're CPA. You're a smart guy. I'm sure. Within your group of friends or your league or whatever, there's gonna be someone that you guys can all kind of look at and be like, he should be the guy.
You gravitate towards them.
Yeah.
Like they know they're probably the smartest man in the room. Well, maybe not the smartest, but
Yeah, whoa, chill.
they know what's going on the most. Like,
Come on, boys. Shower me.
I could never be commissioner. You could never be commissioner.
Bullshit.
I think it's just
Definitely could.
who is fair and
I
who's
definitely
organized.
could be a
That's it.
commissioner.
Fair and organized.
Fair and balanced. And I tell you, Michael, CPA, you should probably be the commissioner of your league.
You're
I'm assuming
probably
you're
too. I think as CPA, you're probably too
too qualified.
Yeah, you might be too qualified and too antsy. You know, you gotta be able to feel the room. You gotta be able to understand everybody's emotions. You know what I mean? You're like a manager.
And have somebody reliable too. Like make sure you have a group chat. Like
Someone's on
we
top
have a group
of it,
chat.
yeah.
And they're making league announcements all year. Just Have
You'll know. I
have that
think
go-to guy.
it's a
feeling.
feel.
It's a feel thing. It's a feel.
It's definitely a feel thing.
Michael Lahmeyer. We should just rename animals segment and herd of goats to herd of mediocrity.
Couldn't agree
literally
more.
what I've been saying.
Had
for
one
years.
bad week. All right, give me a break.
One
Whoa,
bad.
yeah,
Yeah, you've had one bad week, and the rest of them were mediocre.
One bad week.
They're
No.
all
No.
Wait.
Listen.
So you realize how bad last week was for you?
No,
right?
listen. I don't even think last week was
You said
bad.
the funnest
First
death
of all,
was fucking
beat you
wild
in the poll.
berries.
Beat you in the poll. I had
Because
one
you
bad
fucking
pick.
tweeted out on your Twitter.
One
and it was
bad pick.
62 fucking
And
votes.
he
And the way he put that shit in was ridiculous.
It wasn't my
ridiculous.
Twitter. It was
And
the
you-
Faith the Public
No,
Twitter.
because
Your
you
shit was
you
what?
tweeted out on Faith the Public, and you instantly vote for yourself on the Faith the Public Twitter, so you're automatically up one vote.
I vote for myself with my Twitter account. Not
And the Faith the Public one.
That's not true.
No, you're a
Oh, that's
liar
probably
because
not
I've
true.
been.
Go look.
I
Go
have
look.
access.
Go look.
No, you're wrong.
thought you
I
could
can
see it.
you
You
can
password
wrong.
an hour
I can
ago.
I can see who check marks it. You check mark yourself
You
all the
check
time.
marking motherfucker.
Lies.
No,
I'm gonna
time
fuck-
out.
Check marking
Scott, there will be
motherfucker.
screenshots.
Animal. First of all, I respect the shit out of that. If I tweeted out, I would do the same
Yeah,
thing.
but I'm not doing that because I plays it fair. Listen, Frank Short. I went to school with Byron Pringle. He's a beast. Just inconsistent. Just isn't consistent.
Oh, so I should have given up fucking Cortland Sutton in the second round pick for Byron motherfucking not going to make the team Pringle?
I tell you what, he's
I
gotta-
would rather have a fucking stack of Pringles
That's a
right
great.
now than
It's a
Byron
great
Pringle on
last
my
name.
dynasty
That's a
team.
great last name.
Great last name, but I don't give a fuck about his last name.
Good lord. You're right.
Shit on. I went to school with Byron Pringle. You know what? You know fucking what?
This next comment is probably my favorite
Yeah,
one.
this is a
Go
good one. Why
ahead.
don't you read this one?
Go.
This is my favorite. These motherfuckers are like the early 90s Detroit Pistons. They're the bad boys of fantasy. I enjoy them.
Fucking
That's
right.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
That's a great
Hell
compliment.
yeah.
That's what we do.
Can I be Bill Lambier? Well, I guess you got to be Bill Lambier, yeah.
I'm Lambeer. Fuck you. You could be Isaiah Thomas.
I don't want to be Isaiah Thomas. He ruined the Knicks.
All right.
He was a damn good player.
And
I'll
for,
definitely be Isaiah.
for
He's a
the
damn-
last
he's a damn
and
good player.
best comment
Why'd you
on
put
the
Byron
entire
Pringle comment in here
video
twice, you cunt?
from
He's really gonna. He's about to read this fucking.
oh, that was a good one. But
We're
from
actually
Freya
going to stop the
Freo,
show now. We're going to stop the show now.
Bloodsport is amazing. Best JCVD. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme for the record. Best Jean-Claude Van Damme movie ever. If you ain't down with Bloodsport, you either had a Neopet as your best friend growing up, or you need to get your testosterone checked because you might legit be a bitch.
Listen, it's Pride Week. We don't use those kind of insults. But you did end it with ja, so I'm kind of fucking amped
pretty
up
cool.
about that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Your name is ridiculous, though. Frio de Frio. Fuck, it's pretty
I think
cool,
it's pretty
too.
funny.
It's not
There's
bad.
a lot of good. Everything about that
You
comment
like the
was
game,
incredible.
maybe? You want a
except
game? I'll game you. You got a
Bloodsport.
little controller in there. I'll
Yeah.
fucking game.
Well, I'm a little annoyed you
That's
went
a
off on
PS2
that,
controller.
but
Or is that
I have
an
an
Xbox?
announcement to make too.
What?
Uh,
Is it about the fucking Giants?
no, I told you I don't talk about them here anymore.
Okay.
I don't. I'm not going to. It's about a snack.
Next Gen Snacks?
Me? Nah, we've talked about me enough already.
No. Listen. So 2003, this snack disbanded.
Yodels.
3D Doritos.
Oh. Go.
Oh, you got him back yet?
I have been working the phone lines.
Introducing Doritos 3Ds. A whole new shape that begs to be eaten. In very loud ways. Doritos 3D snacks. Same loud taste, new loud shape.
I'm doing everything in my power. We're going to get them back.
Dude, it's going to be epic when we have such a big audience that, like, there are going to be people that work at Doritos that watch this shit. And they're going to be like, Snacks, I got you, dog.
Bro,
And
send
all-
you
all of
fucking
our
box
listeners,
right
we
now.
We got like 2 boxes left in the storage
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Listen, they've been disbanded for 16 years. Jesus Christ.
How do you actually know that? What's wrong with you?
Well, had to
I remember they
Google-
used to come in the little cup. They
Look,
were
I remember what they
they're the
are,
best.
but to know exactly when they disbanded
They
is
were my favorite
ridiculous.
snack in the world, by far.
It's a very good
like,
snack.
legitimately my
I
favorite.
agree.
The hollowness of like the 3D, it was perfect. But
It
here's
was like
what
a
I'm doing.
bugle Dorito.
I was about to say it's basically a fucking bugle. that's
By
a little bit
next
better.
week, I'm gonna have more information on what we can do as a public to either tweet them, mail them, whatever the case is. We're gonna do it. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna need your help.
We don't usually go with the public, but we're gonna need their help.
We're gonna
Yeah,
need the public.
there's a lot of them.
because, well, I mean, I would probably assume a lot of these guys
Basically, he'll get something
never ate
going.
them,
maybe
but-
maybe a hashtag and
For
he'll just tweet
for
it
those
out.
of you
and,
that
know.
ate 3D Doritos back in the day,
Bring it, bike.
let's bring it back because that is
Say
the
it.
one.
Say
If
it.
we could bring
Say
it back,
correctly. Bring it.
bike.
I will never say it like that.
Bring it, bike.
Bike.
No, I will never say it like
If
that.
you don't say it like that, that's never gonna be a fucking hashtag. No one's gonna buy into that. It's off
Can
brand.
somebody else say it for me?
Nope. Bring it, bike.
Boom.
No, you need to say it.
No, you need to
I
say
can't
it.
say it.
Yes, you can.
I don't know how to.
Have
say
you ever
it.
rode a bicycle?
Yeah, bike.
Bring it, bike. Say it, you motherfucker.
Bring it bike.
There we go.
I'm all in. 3D fucking Doritos are coming back as of.
Nope, they're coming bike.
They're coming. Nice.
Oh, there we go.
Love it. They're coming bike as of fucking November 2019. We in this bitch. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. Go follow us on Twitter. Oh, you're fucking right. Actually, we need to set off some fireworks. I lied. The episode.
We got fireworks
part
coming
out.
for you.
Yeah, let's
4th
move
of
the
July.
laptops. Let's move the hardware.
Shut it off for a second.
There goes the lighter. No. We want this shit running.
They're just gonna spark.
Yeah, those aren't gonna do it.
I'll light these and I'll jump back there and light those two.
Move this table.
Hey, now
like-
listen, you guys can't be pussies. You're gonna get a little sparks on you. You
Love
can't
that
jump
shit.
it.
You
got 'em.
You can't jump like a pussy.
No, let's light them to the same time, bud. Yeah, I know, but you know what? It'll look good. It'll look good. Go ahead. Hold on. Hey, light that one now. Light that one there, bud.
You want this one? Snacks?
Yeah, those are fuse here.
Wait. Don't light that in front of my laptop. Not in front of my laptop. What are you doing?
Hey, welcome to the good life. With CLD, won't even get pulled over in their new
Yeah, it's on right now.
good life. Let's go on a living spree. They say the best things in life are free. The good life, it feel like Atlanta. It
on,
feel
motherfucker.
Like LA, it feel like Miami. It feel like NY. Summertime shy. And she got that, I got to love
America!
Yo, it's got to be, cause I'm seasoned. Haters give me them salty looks. Lowry's 50 told me, don't hear switch the
how we do.
Great fucking episode. Watch the money pile up. Like,